All right. So on this first one, it's just a vertical translation, and we can count how many spaces that it goes down by looking at the points. And so it goes down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points. So our new equation is f of x minus 6 outside the parentheses. Remember that any kind of vertical translation is going to mean something happens outside the parentheses. Any kind of horizontal will mean something will happen inside the parentheses. So on this next one, our equation, it's a horizontal translation, and it goes forward 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 places, and we can double check that with another point as well. This one starts at 5 and ends up at 15, so we move forward 10 spaces. So that means that g of x is equal to f of x, and it went forward 10, so it's actually minus 10. Whenever it's inside the parentheses, it's also kind of backwards of what makes sense. This next one is a vertical dilation, and we can count how much bigger it got, how much further away it got from the horizontal axis. So this point started at 4, and now it's at 12. So the scale factor is 3. Whenever we dilate, we multiply, and since it's a vertical, we multiply outside the parentheses. So we would do 3 times f of x. This next one is a horizontal dilation, and so it's going to take place inside the parentheses. So our equation is going to be f of something inside the parentheses times x. The graph got 2 times wider, but we don't multiply by 2. We actually multiply by 1/2. And again, it's partly due to the fact that inside the parentheses is kind of the opposite of what we think. And then probably these last two are where you were having problems. This one is just a reflection of this negative piece upwards. And so that's an absolute value reflection. It's a vertical, so it is going to be outside of the parentheses, so it's actually the absolute value of my f of x equation. It takes all of my pieces, notice that it points out even where the graphs coincide, and it makes them positive. So the positives stay positive, the positive pieces of the graph stayed positive, but the pieces of the graph that had negative outputs became positive. That's why it reflected up into the positive y direction. And this last one, this last one right here, my graph just reflected across the y-axis. So we're multiplying by -1, and it flipped across the y-axis, so that's in the horizontal direction. So we're multiplying by -1 inside of the parentheses.